Democratic Representative Raja Krishnamoorthi of Illinois. He's a key member of both the Oversight and Intelligence Committees. He's a very busy guy. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Wolf. Thanks for having me.
All right, so as you know, Chris Ruddy, a very close friend of the president, spending the weekend with the president over at Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, says the president is seriously thinking of replacing the Director of National Intelligence, Dan Coats. What concerns does that raise to you, if any?
It raises very serious concerns. Dan Coats came on Capitol Hill along with other members of the intelligence community and basically said things such as thousands of ISIS fighters still roam Syria, and so they're still a threat. Iran will not give up its nuclear weapons, and climate change is a grave national security threat. The president didn't like it. He didn't like the conclusions, and so that's why he was so upset with them. Andy McCabe just last night said that when the intelligence community disagreed with the president's report that Vladimir Putin says that North Korea doesn't possess ballistic missiles that could reach America, the president then responded by saying, "I don't care, I believe Putin." Well, today, I think people on Capitol Hill are saying, regardless of what the president's tweeting, we don't care, we believe the intelligence community.
It sounds like a Dan Coats testimony the other day before Congress on global threats facing the United States might have influenced things. I want you to listen and watch what Ruddy had to say. Watch this.
There's a deep concern that on the eve of the North Korea, to have your Director of National Intelligence in open hearings undercutting your position was very bad form.
The Director of National Intelligence at that hearing testified that North Korea was unlikely to completely give up its nuclear weapons. So how is that undercutting the president?
Well, I think the president believes that each member of his administration should basically pledge their political loyalty to him, and that they should tell the truth in such a way that supports whatever position he takes. But in fact, these people have pledged an oath to the Constitution and defending our Constitution, and they have to tell the truth in front of Congress, and that's what Director Coats did along with the other intelligence community chiefs, and that's what they do every day.
Andrew McCabe, the fired acting director of the FBI, also laid out his reasoning for opening up serious investigations into President Trump in the aftermath of James Comey's firing. Do you think that decision was justified?
Oh, absolutely. At the time when Jim Comey was fired, Republicans and Democrats were shocked on Capitol Hill, not to mention the law enforcement officials at the DOJ and FBI. And so understandably, they did the right thing. They appointed Special Counsel Mueller, and now we have to allow his investigation to proceed unimpeded, and then the results have to be shared with Congress and the American people.
The fired acting FBI director also says that the Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein, was completely serious in his discussion of possibly removing President Trump through the 25th Amendment to the Constitution, and his proposal also to wear a wire to record President Trump secretly in the Oval Office. Does that concern you?
Well, it concerns me whenever someone talks about wearing a wire and collecting evidence without any judicial safeguards. There have to be judicial safeguards. A judge should authorize that type of thing. But, with regard to the discussion about the president, I think a lot of people were scratching their heads at the time and wondering whether the president was able to discharge his duties in light of firing Jim Comey, in light of pressuring him or asking him to drop the investigation into Michael Flynn, and then later on saying that the firing of Jim Comey was because of the Russia investigation.
In addition to being on the Intelligence Committee, you also serve on the House Oversight Committee. The chairman, Elijah Cummings, now says attorneys representing President Trump might have actually given your committee false information about those hush money payments to Stormy Daniels. Will your committee move to subpoena the Trump Organization to see the documents behind that payment?
Possibly. I think that Chairman Cummings has made it very clear that we have to bring transparency and sunlight to the dealings of the Trump Organization. You may already be aware, but we have asked numerous times for information, for instance, about the Trump Organization's dealings with foreign governments through the Trump Hotel and so forth. So I would not be surprised if we end up subpoenaing such documents.
Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi, thanks so